You might think the most brutal man in history was Genghis Khan or Adolf Hitler. But what if I told you neither of them comes close to the real monster of the Middle Ages? This is the story of Vlad the Impaler, the man who inspired the legend of Dracula, a ruler so terrifying, so bloodthirsty, that even the devil might have taken notes. Vlad III, later known as Dracula, was born in the 15th century in Wallachia, modern-day Romania. His father, Vlad II, was a nobleman who earned the title Dracul, meaning the dragon. Vlad's own name, Dracula, meant son of the dragon, but also had another meaning in Romanian, son of the devil. Vlad's childhood was far from normal. His homeland was caught between the Hungarian kingdom and the rising Ottoman Empire. To keep power, his father handed Vlad and his brother over to the Ottomans as hostages. While in Ottoman custody, Vlad was educated, but also humiliated, abused, and molded by the cruelty around him. He never forgot the betrayal nor the weakness of his father, who was eventually murdered when Wallachia was invaded. The boy who returned wasn't the same. He had one mission: take back his land and make everyone pay in notes. After years of exile, Vlad seized the throne of Wallachia with the support of the Ottomans, ironically, the very empire he despised. But once he had power, things took a dark turn. He didn't just rule, he cleansed. Anyone he suspected of disloyalty, nobles, rivals, even ordinary citizens, were invited to elaborate banquets. But these weren't parties, they were traps. Guests were rounded up and in front of horrified onlookers, impaled on giant wooden stakes. Not killed instantly, no. Their bodies were pierced through the bottom and slowly pushed upward, taking hours or days to die in agony. Vlad had invented a spectacle of pain. Over time, thousands met the same fate. His methods were cruel but calculated. Through terror, he maintained absolute control. Crime in his land dropped to near zero because people feared him more than death itself. Vlad ruled not through law, but through legend. If a woman stepped outside her home without her husband's permission, burned alive in public. If an unmarried couple was caught in a relationship, impaled and left for the town to see. Over 1,000 women were burned during his reign. More than 5,000 men were impaled, turned into horrifying displays across the cities and roads. This wasn't justice. It was psychological warfare. His reign turned Wallachia into a graveyard of fear. But to the outside world, especially to the Christian powers of Europe, Vlad was a hero. Why? Because he stood against the Muslim Ottomans. Even the Pope of Rome praised him, but Vlad hadn't forgotten his childhood, the pain, the betrayal. And when the Sultan of the Ottomans, Mehmed II, requested 10,000 soldiers from Vlad to fight a new war, Vlad saw his chance. Not only did he refuse, he impaled the Sultan's messengers and roasted their bodies. The message was clear. Dracula bows to no one. The Sultan responded by sending 1,000 of his elite troops to capture him. Vlad slaughtered them all and put their corpses on stakes, decorating the road like a forest of death. Then came his most horrific act yet. He led raids into Ottoman territory and massacred over 23,000 innocent civilians. Women, children, the elderly, their homes burned, their bodies left in the open, a clear declaration of war. The Ottomans retaliated with force. Sultan Mehmed launched a full-scale invasion. Vlad's forces were crushed. He fled into the mountains with just a few loyal men. Eventually, in 14, the Ottomans caught up with him. Vlad Dracula, the most feared man in Europe, was finally killed. But his story didn't end there. Over 60,000 people are believed to have been executed during his reign. His cruelty was unmatched, even in a world already soaked in blood. And yet, he became a legend. Not just a tyrant, but a symbol, twisted into myth by time, a creature of nightmares, a vampire. This is how Vlad the Impaler became Dracula. History is full of monsters, but some of them were very real.